All right. Um, let's see if we can make this work. I realized that it was actually showing what was going on. I just wasn't able to read it on my phone. It looks like we've got it well. All right. Now, through this, I'm going to read this thing and a little bit of the comments underneath. That way, you guys can understand what I was going through. I'll also be showing you through the next 15 or so videos, I'll be showing you that I've been telling the truth. I'll show you where it is that Natalie lied, and I will show you the proof that she lied. We're going to be not just going through my Facebook and also her Facebook post, we will also be going through my emails between Natalie and I, as well as people who claimed that they were going to help, who were alcoholics and drug addicts and web sleuths and people who were just completely infatuated with death. Um, I'm grabbing some slippers to put underneath my backside. The reason for that is because I'm sitting on a tiny wooden chair that's made for kids. It's the only one that I could dig out and sit on. I do have a toolbox I suppose I could sit on next. It starts off, hey y'all, I suppose before I read it, I should give you a brief overview of this whole situation. And of course, I will be going back and showing you the people that I talk about and our messages between each other. That includes Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, Maddie Boa, and many others. You'll also get to see that when lives are at stake, I'm not very nice. Um, so, in 2015, on my birthday, I hurt my back. It was already pretty well injured, but I screwed it up worse. After that, all my friends pretty well just threw me away. I knew who Natalie was. I didn't know her name. Um, Natalie and her sister had given me they were walking by Pearl Street one night. They were with some guys who were probably in their mid to late 20s, possibly early 30s. Um, I just assumed that it was Natalie and Alicia's boyfriends, but I'm not for certain. I also didn't know how old Natalie and Alicia were. I knew that it had been a few years since I seen them last. And one of them came up to me and gave me a hug. Um, they both gave me their email address, or not their email addresses, their uh, Facebook information, and told me to hit them up. So I sent them each a message, and then I completely forgot about them. Um, there's a lot of people down there. For the most part, I only knew them when they were kids, and I spent most of my time trying to run them off. And you'll see that in our messages too. Not just the fact that I tried to run them off, but also the fact that they agreed with what I did, even admitting that they shouldn't have been there and that they were trying to get the wrong kind of attention in the wrong place. Now, I went to Virginia because Natalie was suicidal. And she called me up one night and told me that she was going to kill herself if I wasn't already on the way, and then she drove her car into a fucking tree. You'll get to see the messages between her and I about that. It's unfortunate that I didn't have those phone calls to save. First of all, I didn't know that I was going to need to. If I'd have known that she was going to tell me all that stuff that she told me on the phone, and I'd have known that all of this stuff was going to happen, I would have tried to find a way to record. Of course, I'd been trying to find a way to record for a whole year before she died. I just needed help. I was trying to keep people's information private while still trying to get people to understand that there's a major issue and I needed help. As a guy, you're not allowed to ask for help because people consider you weak. You don't want a piece of shit, but you don't want a good man either. Not my fault. Oh, That is what happens when you don't move the mouse enough. Anyway, so for an entire year before Natalie was killed, I got people like Tim Beeson getting a hold of me telling me he's going to kill my whole family. Now, mind you, I wasn't threatening Natalie. I wasn't threatening to kill her. I wasn't threatening to kill her family. I wasn't threatening to rape her. I wasn't threatening to follow her to work or any sorts of creepy shit like that. It says, hey, y'all, I have a public announcement. Now, this is December 13th of 2017. On December 12th of 2017, I exposed her dad as a sex offender. I did so by copying and pasting an email that she had sent me. We're going to show you the actual email along the course of these videos. Um, just prior to that, on December 9th, I had gotten a hold of her mother, sent her a message to let her know what was going on and that I needed help stopping the abuse. I let her know who I was. And I didn't hide who I was. Now, between when I left Virginia in 2016 because Natalie had a drug-induced psychosis, and of course she was a pretty girl, so nobody cared. I must have been the bad guy. I must have been the predator. She wanted to pretend like I stalked her all the way to Virginia and crap like that. I had a point to make, but I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, long and short of it, I ended up leaving Virginia. I was done with them. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. And what did they do? They started calling up our mutual friends and spreading lies, claiming that I threatened their family and all sorts of other fucking creepy shit. Well, Maddie Boa, obviously, she wasn't told that I was stalking her. Natalie Bollinger was not being stalked by me. And we'll go through that. But the situation with Maddie Boa, the reason that Alicia and Natalie Bollinger did not tell Maddie Boa that I was stalking them is because Maddie Boa would have known 100% right off the bat that it was bullshit because she helped me plan the trip with Natalie and with Alicia. So December 9th, when I got a hold of her mom, that was my last ditch effort to try to get some help. Now, there's a lot of stuff that they tried pretending as threats. I didn't threaten them. I was the one being threatened. I was the one having people get a hold of me and threatening to kill me. Meanwhile, police officers wanted to ignore it. I am a disabled person. I can't defend myself. So I did what I was supposed to. Did I get a hold of the cops to begin with? Hell no. I tried to follow the rules you're supposed to. Anyway, it says, all right, December 9th, I got a hold of her mom. December 12th, the deadline was up. I let her know what was going to happen. If she didn't come forward and tell the truth, I was going to show the truth. And I did. So December 12th, I showed the truth about her dad. And December 13th, she made this post. The two profiles that I had made, one of them was called Guitaria's Case. And once we get into the messages with Natalie, you'll see where I got the name from. However, as soon as I got a reply, I let Natalie know who I was. I didn't try hiding it like these fucking web sleuths and nut jobs and catfish. It says, hey y'all, I have a public announcement. There is a man, Sean Schwartz. I met this man when I was young. I ran into him about 2 years ago. All right. When she was young, that means 13. She was selling drugs for her dad. You'll see the email that I exposed her dad with, so you'll know that I'm telling the truth. It says she ran into me about 2 years ago, and that was true too. Her and her sister, like I said, they ran into me on Pearl Street with their boyfriends and wanted me to hit them up on Facebook, so I did. It says, long story short, I became friends with him. That part is true. It also says, I helped him out with rides and stuff. That part is also true. It says, I moved to Virginia. And you guys are going to see this right here is where she starts to lie and mislead the situation. She did move to Virginia. Now, it was just supposed to be a short visit, and she said that if she was going to stay there, that she would need me to go see her. You're going to get to see that in our messages as well. Now, here's the part where it really starts to become misleading. She wrote, "He drove across the country to see me." That part is true. But what she doesn't say in this is that she got a hold of me and told me that if I wasn't already on the road, that she was going to kill herself. She left that part completely out. The fact that she pity partied me into going there. She made me believe that she was going to kill herself if I didn't go. It also says, slept behind my work for weeks. Now, that right there is an outright lie. Now, I should explain that when she posted this in December of 2017, this is over a year after I left Virginia. I still thought she was in Virginia. Now, people wanted to take a look at this stuff that she wrote here. Like, he drove across the country to see me, slept behind my work for weeks. People assumed that I was staying behind her work in Colorado in 2017. Shit, I didn't even know she was in Colorado. She went to Virginia. I drove 1,700 miles there because she pity partied me with the suicide thing. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from her. And then what? That's right, she followed me to Colorado. How creepy is that shit? But it says, slept behind my work for weeks. Now, what work would that be? That would have been all the way back in Virginia in 2016, over a year before this was posted. In 2016, while I was in Virginia, her sister worked at a store called Cricket, where they sold telephones. That's where I got the busted telephone that ended up creating all of these issues to begin with. It was Natalie Bollinger's old phone, and it looked like it had been used for target practice with a BB gun. Well, this phone did not work worth a shit. The other thing is, I had a flip phone that worked just fine. I didn't need a new one. But Alicia insisted that I take this broken ass phone. She didn't tell me it was broken. She just insisted that I take it. And I tried to talk her out of it, but you know me, I'm a big fucking softy. So, looking a good gift horse in the mouth, probably what I should have done, but you're not supposed to. So that phone did whatever it wanted to, and we're going to see where that come in as a very screwed up situation. You're also going to get to see some stuff with Jerry Sparks and her son and how that argument ended up with that phone being a big screwed up situation. Now that phone, when when Alicia was working at the Cricket store, they both wanted me to stay there so they could see me more often. Alicia's boyfriend worked at the Starbucks in the same exact building, just two doors down, and Alicia would invite me for lunch and invite me over for all of her cigarette breaks. So, I mean, are these things that you do with somebody who's stalking you? No, you don't. They invited me to Elliot's Coffee Grounds on my birthday. They invited me to the pagoda in Norfolk just before Hurricane Matthew hit, which, by the way, is one of the 3 accidents they got in while I was there. But the thing is that I was asked to stay there by Alicia Bollinger in specific. Natalie used to work there, but after trying to kill herself in that car accident, well, that didn't work out so good. By the time I got to Virginia, she no longer had a job. So it wasn't her work that I slept behind. It was her sister, Alicia Bollinger's work that I slept behind. It wasn't in Colorado in 2017. It was in Virginia in 2016. It says, when I told him I didn't want to see him anymore, he sent me hundreds of texts and calls. Now that is an outright lie. She didn't tell me that she didn't want to see me anymore. My phone was doing the texting and calling on its own because it was busted and one of the cracks was right over where the call part is. I had to literally turn off my phone or it would redial whoever over and over and over again. It was fucking stupid. Anyway, I tried to get a hold of Natalie and Alicia and let them know what was going on with the phone, that it wasn't working, but obviously I couldn't use the phone to do it because it wasn't working. Now, it was also in Alicia's name, and my phone number from my flip phone had been transferred over. Alicia had quit her job 10 minutes after transferring that phone over for me, so I was pretty screwed. There's a lot of people that, well, they were supposed to call me on that number, and they weren't able to call me on that number because it was in Alicia's name, and me and Alicia were no longer friends after I left Virginia. Now, she didn't tell me that she didn't want to see me, and neither did her sister. I had to call them up and say, hey, you know what? If you and your family are afraid of me, I understand. Just let me know, and I'll never talk to you again. And that's how it should have stayed. Natalie called me up on Alicia's phone, so it might have actually been Alicia Bollinger. And she said, Sean, I love you, but my family's afraid of you, so don't talk to me anymore. And that was the end of it in my mind. I packed up my vehicle despite the fact that police officers decided that they were going to illegally break my vehicle because of Natalie Bollinger lying to them and her family pretending like I was stalking her. This was in Virginia in 2016, by the way. And you're going to get to see the stuff that her and her sister typed to me. Obviously, the narrative that she's selling here isn't true, and you're going to get to see that. Now, when she told me that she didn't want to talk to me anymore, I left Virginia. Before I even got out of Virginia, Maddie Boa had called me up to call me a creeper and all sorts of shit, so I blocked her too. Sorry, I should have moved the mouse. It says, he parked his car in front of my house, blocking Military Highway for hours. First of all, it wasn't for hours. Second of all, I didn't park my car there. I had that busted ass phone. I had MapQuest on it. It told me to make a to make a UE. And of course, I hadn't slept in a couple of days. Lots of anxiety. I was severely dehydrated. And I'll be showing you, of course, the hospital paperwork for that too. So this is basically just the primer for the whole series. It says blocking Military Highway for hours. I did block Military Highway. My vehicle was stuck. It would not move. I bought a vehicle from Laura Nelson and her husband David Nelson, and it had a pre-existing issue where the steering wheel comes loose and doesn't want to move. The steering wheel will move, but the tires don't. And I was able to get that fixed before I left Virginia. Matter of fact, when they towed it, that actually fixed it, which is odd. But it was only fixed temporarily. It came loose again, and I had to eventually get a hold of David Nelson and ask him how to fix it, and he did. It says, laying on his horn, he was arrested. I did lay on my horn. The reason for this is because here I am. I go to make a U-turn. I get stuck between some road cones, not little road cones, but the big barrel ones, and I'm staring at Natalie's mom's house, right? And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm stuck. My vehicle is stuck. I am freaking out. All I did was come over here to try to explain that this goddamn phone is completely fucked up and I need help. You know, I'm literally stranded in Virginia. I have no money to go anywhere. So it says that I was arrested. I wasn't arrested. I was severely dehydrated and I was taken to the hospital. It says here, since then I've asked him to leave me alone, and that part is true. And I'd asked her to call off the dogs. If she'd have not spread the rumors that she did, I would not have been stalked. I would not have been harassed. I would not have been assaulted. But her and her sister wanted to save face by lying to Natalie and Alicia's mother and by lying to Maddie Boa. If they hadn't spread those lies, that would have been the end of it. Now, I tried to have it be the end of it by trying to ignore this stuff. I even left Boulder because as soon as I got to Boulder after leaving Virginia, first thing I got to deal with is being assaulted. Right outside of the Starbucks. Not cool. So, of course, I moved again. And I had to keep on moving, trying to find a safe place to live. And it's the same today. I don't have my own place where I can sit down and work on this stuff and not interrupt somebody else's life. And then it says, let's see, since then I've asked him to leave me alone and he won't. Now, let me tell you when I got a hold of Natalie Bollinger after I left Virginia. I got a hold of her after I was assaulted. If I was assaulted, I got a hold of her and asked her to call off the dogs. I was also begging people to shoot me in the head, and I'm going to show you those messages too. I begged a lot of people to shoot me in the head. Nobody would shoot me, but Joseph Michael Lopez was fine with shooting her in the head. How screwed up is that? Natalie Bollinger got all fucked up on drugs and was trying to hype people up to kill me, including the ex-boyfriend who raped her, beat on her, and stole her fucking dog, including the whole drug situation where he was feeding her drugs so she would put out. Now it says he sent emails for over a year close to every day harassing me. That is an outright lie. There was a grand total of 6 days total. Now, mind you, I was assaulted, what I consider assaulted, 7 times before Natalie was killed over this situation. Now, as far as what's legally considered assault, I was assaulted a lot more than that. Um, let's see. Close to every day. And you guys will get to see these messages too, so you'll know. You'll get to see that I was asking her to call off the dogs. I wasn't whining and pining because she wouldn't touch my penis. You'll get to see in our conversations where when she tells me she thinks she's in love with me, how I try to sidestep the situation. And, well, when a girl feels rejected, here in America, she's allowed to do a lot of evil shit and get away with it. It says making numerous accounts until I block him again. I made 2 accounts. One of them was the Guitarius case account. I made that to ask her to call off the dogs. I also let her know who I was. I didn't hide my name. I didn't hide the fact that I am Sean David Schwartz. The second one that I made was the Michelle Brannick. That's what this one is, the Michelle Brannick post. Now, in the Michelle Brannick post here, the major issue is that I made this because I was going to kill myself. I was at Jamie Curtis's in Rapid City, South Dakota when I made this profile. And I made the profile specifically because I had planned on committing suicide after destroying my Facebook. I was sick of life, I was sick of the abuse, and I was sick of my friends talking over me, not listening to what was going on, and pretending, like all of you do, that a man can just walk away from these things, but a woman can't. I did walk away. But it didn't matter that I walked away. These people needed someone to blame for their fuck ups. Natalie Marie Bollinger could not stay off the fucking drugs. That is not my fault. Let's see, it says making numerous accounts until I block him again, threatening my family. I didn't threaten her family. It says telling me he'll kill himself in front of me. I didn't tell her I would kill myself in front of her. I did write that I should. I wrote that I wanted to blow my head off so close that she would feel my blood spraying on her face. And I truly did, and I truly do. I want all of these predators to see my corpse. But this fight is too big for me to do that. I tried to kill myself over the abuse by Boulder Police Department and by the general public because they tried to paint me as a murderer and a stalker and a chimo and a rapist and all sorts of other creepy shit that I didn't do. You're going to get to see how much Natalie and her family outright lied and misled the situation. And you're going to get to see how the police did the same thing. You're also going to get to see that these predators have a history of doing these things. They have a history of victimizing people. I don't. Let's see. It says, and sending my friends and family harassing messages as well. You'll get to see the messages that I sent. I was asking for help, not telling them that I would kill them, not telling them that I was going to rape them or chop their children into pieces. I was asking for help to stop the abuse, and you'll get to see that too. It says, I'm sharing this because he's posting slander about me all over Facebook. Now, what was that slander? Well, first of all, there was the email from her about her dad. That's not slander, those are her own words. There's also the fact that I exposed her heroin addiction. Now, that's not slander, that's been proven by her autopsy report. So, she made this because she was trying to save face and hide the shit that her and her friends had been doing. Now, 2 days after this was posted, she got a hold of me to say that she wanted to meet me in Boulder to stop all the crazy. I walked over 100 blocks to meet Miss Peaches to catch that ride so that I could meet with Miss Natalie and stop the abuse that I'd had to endure for over a year. I was going to therapists to get all of the legal stuff taken care of so that I could actually get somebody to do their job, because cops don't want to do their job for a homeless male, ever. So I had to get the disability thing going and apply for disability and jump through all of that. And then that way, because it's illegal to do these things to a disabled person, it was supposed to help. But instead, law enforcement used that as an excuse to ignore me, to not look at evidence. And then later on, when they realized I hadn't killed Natalie, they committed multiple felonies to hide the fact that they didn't do their job. That happened across multiple states. It says, um, so if you receive a message, I am sincerely sorry. You know what? The people that I messaged were either A, mutual friends of ours, or B, people who were threatening, harassing, and assaulting me. One of these people was Tim Beeson. He got a hold of me first. Another one of these people was, I want to say, God, I can't remember. The guy said that he was Tim Beeson's brother. But he got a hold of me and we had a nice conversation. And he at first was an asshole, but then when he realized the situation was over Natalie Bollinger, he didn't have anything nice to say about Natalie. She's trying to tell these people to ignore me. I'm screaming for help because I'm being abused, and she's telling people to ignore me when I'm telling the truth, and she knows I'm telling the truth. That's the part she was so pissed off about. It says, please ignore him. It only encourages him when he gets a response, much like a child. See, there she's going to the insults. And then she goes, he's mentally ill and I'm trying to fix this. See, there again, the insults. By calling me mentally ill, she's trying to destroy my credibility and pretend like I'm just some sort of a monster. Meanwhile, you're going to get to see a lot of the messages between her and I, and also between her and Tim Beeson. And you're going to get to see how she was straight up playing. She was playing victim after doing the horrible things that she did. Now let's scroll up a little bit. This is the Michelle Brannick profile. It has since been destroyed. This video says it's got 11 views. If you look at the very bottom of it, it says Michelle Brannick, September 22nd. That was September 22nd of 2017. It says, I made this account so I could get rid of my real Facebook permanently. It didn't work. I hate Facebook. Now we get to the comments. I had to spend about 20 minutes, 30 minutes trying to scroll all the way up here because it says 2.6 thousand comments. Some of the comments are not going to be shown. The reason for this is because the people that made the comments are on my blocked list. The reason that they were on my blocked list is because they kept on threatening me and harassing me and wouldn't stop. This is obviously after Natalie was killed that they kept this up, and I just simply kept on blocking them. You can't block people in real life, though. When somebody starts swinging at you on the street, there's no block button. Now you get to see how mean-hearted people are with this. Terry Jupiter. Here's a little information on this guy. He wrote, "Wow, dude, don't feed the strays." Funny, huh? Joshua Morris typed, "Miss you." Natalie Bollinger typed, "Miss you too, man." Joshua Morris typed, "Hope you are doing well." Here's Troy Bollinger. Troy Bollinger is Natalie's uncle. He's one of the people who molested her. This is Chris, let's see, Troy Bollinger, business owner at Bollinger Trucking LLC. Chris Fulcher. This guy typed, "What the hell was you doing with his old ass? You were way too pretty." See, there is what we're dealing with in the United States with all this bullshit. Whether somebody is right or wrong, it don't matter. It matters how pretty they are. See, they make fun of me for being old. What the hell was you doing with his old ass? You were way too pretty. You see how superficial Chris Fulcher is? And then Chris Fulcher writes, "He looks in his 40s and she looks in her 20s. I thought she was saying they was together, which I was thinking that was the perverted and non-morality thing to do on his end, which it still is either way because she is being stalked." See, I was the one being stalked, and by people like Chris Fulcher, who wanted to assume that it was okay to victimize me because of lies that, well, you guys are going to get to see those lies. You're going to get to see a lot of the threats too. Now, they're making fun of my age, and of course, finding it insulting that somebody my age has a friend who is also an adult. But who really cares, right? It says, "I thought she was saying they was together, which I was thinking that was the perverted and non-morality thing to do on his end, which it still is either way because she's being stalked. I was just saying alone she was too pretty to be dating an old ass man." Well, we weren't dating. And I wrote Chris Fulcher. Mind you, I wrote this 5 weeks ago, and he wrote this 3 years ago. I wrote, "Chris Fulcher, she wasn't being stalked. I was." Natalie Marie typed, "I was trying to help. He said he needed a friend." That part is honest. Chris typed, "Oh, I thought y'all was like dating. I was thinking to myself, no wonder he's acting crazy. LOL." Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Asshole. Oh, 11 more replies. We're going to click on that before reading this. Natalie wrote, "No fucking way, LOL. I was just being nice, being a friend. Then he went crazy." I didn't go crazy. I was being assaulted. I was having my life threatened. I was having my family's life threatened. The things that she pretended that I did were actually happening to me because she wanted to pretend. Now, when we go through this, you're going to realize, number one, she never claimed that I sexually molested her. She's never claimed that we ever had sex. She never claimed that. And obviously, we didn't date. And you're going to get to see how Natalie's ex-stepmothers, after getting busted lying and after getting busted pulling the games that they were pulling with Kara Johnson Miles, well, it was a very messed up situation, and Kara Johnson Miles was allowed to put slander into my court date, which they claimed was unrelated. Well, it's only unrelated when I'm trying to show evidence. Apparently, it's not unrelated when somebody from Texas, who is completely in another jurisdiction, wants to introduce slander into my court date. And of course, the judge allowed slander. She would not allow evidence. But here, "Oh, I thought y'all was like dating." And she's like, "No fucking way. No fucking way. Obviously, we didn't date." She said, "I was just being nice, being a friend. Then he went crazy." And Chris Fulcher replied, of course, look at the jokey face. He thinks it's fucking hilarious. "Well, now she's dead, Chris, you sick fuck. How fucking funny is it now, asshole?" He wrote, "He must have thought y'all was a thing and fell in love with you." See, this is the assumptions I got to deal with because she's a pretty white girl. These are the assumptions. They're not just assumptions. Natalie had to mislead the situation and her sister and Maddie Boa. in order to get away with this. Let's see, it says, when he realized it was a no-go, he got crazy. I've seen movies like this, LOL, no BS. Well, that's the thing. This isn't a movie. This is my real fucking life. All right? This isn't Hollywood. This is real life. It isn't some big government conspiracy. Each one of these people have things that they did wrong that they're trying to hide. They have motive. They have intent. And that's what you're going to see. Let's see. Natalie typed, I just want it all to stop. Well, so did I. When I left Virginia, it should have stopped. That should have been the fucking end of it. It was not my fault she was on drugs. It wasn't my fault she was still addicted to heroin. It wasn't my fault that she lied to people. But because she lied to people, I couldn't get it to stop. I just wanted it to stop. That's all I wanted. And for the rest of my life, it's not going to stop because it's just me. Now I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Chris Fulcher typed, yeah, I bet. Sorry you have to deal with that, but I hope everything gets better soon. Well, it didn't get better soon. And see, here she's milking it for all it's fucking worth. Chris Fulcher typed, did you put a restraining order on him yet? Meanwhile, I've been trying to get a protection order against her and Matty Boa and Tim Beeson and many other people, and I can't get the cops to do shit. No matter what, the cops aren't going to do anything. I am a homeless male. Now, mind you, at this point, I was living in a garage that I was paying way too much for in South Denver. It was actually in a place called Inglewood. Now, that part right there is important as well because I spent months in jail over a crime that was supposedly committed in a different place. No, Ken and Leah live in Inglewood. They live right off of South Zunai, or they live on South Zunai. And as a result, well, it was a very screwed up situation for me. I was only living there because I was told that by people here in Nebraska that all of the services are along the Front Range in Colorado. That's where I need to move. So I was living in a drug dealer's garage so that I could see therapists and try to get all of this stuff jumped through as far as the mental health hoops so that I could get help with the legal hoops because I was being assaulted, because I was having my life threatened and because I couldn't see my loved ones. Natalie typed, I'm going to the courthouse in the morning. Chris Fulcher typed, good choice. Anthony Cole typed, that is kind of scary, Nat. Now, mind you, all these people are actually helping her. I'm literally trying to get help for an entire year, and nobody gave a shit. But Natalie is young and pretty and popular. So lo and behold, she is automatically assumed to be right. And there's all these dudes who want to fuck her, obviously making a very big situation for me that is unsafe. And she didn't care. She had no conscience, no morality whatsoever when she did this. But she's pretty, so it's magically okay for her to do these things. And all of these guys are absolutely fucking eating it up. Charlotte Wallace types, it's very scary. It was even scarier for me, Charlotte. Let's see. There's Charlotte Wallace. Here's Anthony Cole. It says, it's very scary. He seems highly intelligent. Well, duh. It also says, but he's definitely not stable. Who would be stable after over a year of that kind of abuse? Who would be stable? I wasn't financially stable. I wasn't physically stable. And the more abuse I took, the less my mental fucking abilities were. I mean, seriously, there's only so much abuse a person can take before they fucking snap. It says, I just watched his live feeds. His anger is not just towards you, Nat. It's deep rooted, and hopefully he will get some help and you can have peace. I was trying to get help. She got all the help that I needed. See, let me explain to you about Tim Beeson. Tim Beeson was one of the people who was threatening and harassing me, one of the people that I was trying to get a protection order against. Now, he was threatening and harassing me, threatening to kill me, and all sorts of shit like that. And the cops didn't give a shit. This very same predator who had raped her, who had beaten her up, who had stolen her dog, who was feeding her drugs, who was threatening to blow his head off while I was in Virginia because she wouldn't touch his penis anymore. And then these guys want to pretend like I'm the one who is acting like that because he didn't get his penis touched. You guys are going to be able to see all of this situation in our conversations and in these screenshots and in Natalie's actual. See, here's the thing. If you go up to the top here, it says see messages. If I click on the part that says see messages, and then I scroll all the way up to the top, which is probably what I'm going to do next, we're going to be able to see all of our conversations from the very first one. Let's see. Where were we at? It's deep rooted. My anger was not just towards towards her. It was towards all of the people who were fucking assaulting me and making my life hell, and all of my supposed friends who were ignoring it and treating me the way that you treat males when they are victimized. Did Natalie get treated the way that I was? No, she didn't. Was she the one having people threaten to fucking kill her? No, I was the one going through that. Was she the one being assaulted? No, I was. Something I still have to deal with. Natalie typed, Charlotte Wallace, I hope so. Alicia Catherine Molesky typed, this breaks my heart. I'm so sorry to you guys, her friends, my condolences. Obviously, this woman typed this after Natalie was killed. I replied, Charlotte Wallace, my anger was and is toward all of the people who took part in the stalking and violence against me. I should probably click to see more. Violence against me over her and Alicia's lies, both before and after her death. If she had left me alone instead of slandering my name, nobody would have harmed me. I take the abuse to this day. Tim Smith wrote, what a fucking pedophile looking motherfucker. That's Tim Smith. See, that's what people automatically jump to. And Natalie didn't want to understand that. When you spread rumors like she spread, you accuse a man of stalking you for doing what you asked him to do. Yeah, this is what you got to deal with. This is the reason that we run little kids off down there on Pearl Street, is because sick motherfuckers like Tim Smith want to make assumptions like this. And I had been dealing with this for over a year. Now, she already admitted that we never had sex. She admitted that we didn't date. We didn't have that kind of a relationship. Terry J. Jupiter typed, don't talk to my friend like that, please. We're not, oh my God. Actually, I think I do know that guy, and I believe we are friends. Interesting. All right. Let's get some of these. Sorry to hear this. You are such a good person, Natalie. Andrew Hill wrote, no means no. See, that's what it always comes down to. I'm being abused. So in order to justify that abuse, they pretend that it's a no means no situation. It wasn't. You guys are going to get to see that in our messages between each other, that there was no sexual anything between us. When she tried to tell me that she was in love with me, I always tried to sidestep the situation or talk her out of it, and you're going to get to see that. It says, you are the one being cruel and abusive now, Michelle Brannick. Absolutely no, I wasn't. Showing the truth is not abusive, you dumb son of a bitch. It also says, you need to man up. See that right there? Again, we're dealing with the sexism. You need to man up. You need to man up. It says, you need to man up and deal with your own issues instead of putting them on others. I was manning up and I was dealing with my own issues. My own issue is that I was being threatened, harassed, and assaulted by Natalie Bollinger and her friends, her junkie friends, because they were all on fucking drugs and they were embarrassed. You know what? I don't have that particular emotion. I don't get embarrassed. A lot of guys do get embarrassed, and that's a part of what prevents them from turning in their predators when they're sexually assaulted. The other part is people don't care. They want to tell you that you just got to deal with it by yourself. Now, Natalie pretends like she's being stalked, and I have to deal with all of this. Meanwhile, I am actually stalked, and then I'm victimized because of the lies told by these people. Now, let's continue. It says, Michelle Brannick, you need to man up and deal with your own issues instead of putting them on others. That's right. Anytime that a man talks about the abuse that he's enduring, he's automatically just putting them on others. Because we all know that everything is a man's fault in the United States, no matter what. There is no possible way that a woman could ever do something predatory. There is no way that a man could ever actually be victimized. Oh, no, this is the United States. We're all perfect. Jesus fuck. It says others can only help you so much and for so long. Well, they weren't helping. They were giving me excuses. They were threatening me. They were assaulting me. And they were playing victim. See, while I was being stalked by people like Tim Beeson literally went in after stalking me. He went in with Natalie Bollinger to pretend like I was the stalker. And the cops refused to do anything about Tim Beeson. It says these issues are your responsibility. See, that's the thing. Men are expected to be responsible for everything. No accountability for women. Now, that's not true in every case, but in most cases it is. And it's not because women are evil, it's because they are taught to be that way. They are taught that it is okay. They are taught that they can get away with it, just like they are taught that they can assault a man without consequence. If a woman assaults a man, he either takes it or someone will come to her rescue because girls can't defend themselves. That's just stupid. It says, no one deserves this kind of abuse for showing you kindness in the past. It wasn't her kindness that had me trying to get help. It wasn't her kindness that had me telling the truth about the fucked up shit that she did. It was the things that she did that were unkind. It was the things that she did that resulted in multiple assaults against me. The things that she did that prevented me from seeing my loved ones. The things that she did to try to paint me as a monster by slandering my name so that people wouldn't listen to me, so that she could play on the bias that Americans have against anything with a penis. It says, move on and learn a new way to deal with your troubles. Your current tactics are obviously not working. Good luck. Well, my first tactic was to ask for her to call off the dogs. My second tactic was to get a hold of, well, here's what we're taught as kids. We're taught that if we have a bully, the first thing we need to do is go to our bully and tell them how it makes us feel. That results in you getting picked on even more and other kids making fun of you because they think you're weak now. But I did what you're supposed to. I got a hold of my bully, or if it's not a bully, if it's a rumor that you're being bullied over, you go to the source of that rumor. And that's exactly what I did. It didn't work. So what's step two? Step two is you're supposed to go to, well, a teacher or your parents or a police officer, somebody in a position of authority, and tell them about your abuse. Now, I was seeing my therapist in Sydney and telling her about my abuse. I had my caseworker and I was telling her about my abuse. When I moved to Colorado, I got another caseworker and I told her about him about my abuse, and I got a new therapist. And now here's the thing. Nicole Peralta was my therapist here in Nebraska. And Tamara was my caseworker. Tamara quit her job, so that left me without a caseworker. And it also left me in a pretty screwed up situation. Now, I tried to get everything restarted in Colorado through a therapist named Nicole Gerald. She hooked me up with Colorado Coalition of the Homeless, a guy who works there named Jeff Ritter. Right before Natalie died, Jeff Ritter was supposed to be helping me to get a lawyer so that I could actually defend myself against the abuse. There's also my caseworker in Colorado who was working with him closely, and her name was Kara Heller. You guys might want to remember those names. I was trying to get everything done so that I could get an autism advocate and also so that I could actually defend myself against this chronic abuse. But nobody cared. They wanted to tell me the pretty things that you tell men, the things that these guys are typing. You just need to man up. These issues are my responsibility. That's right. Blame the victim for being victimized, you fucking asshat. Anyway, I wrote, Andrew Hill, maybe you should look at both sides instead of just assuming a drug addict is right. The issues I spoke out about for over a year before her death were started by Natalie and Alicia. I certainly did not deserve the abuse, and I still don't. My tactics started off as asking her to end the abuse I was enduring over the slander. They also included getting a hold of law enforcement. Natalie thought she was in love with me. The messages between us prove it. I left Virginia with the intention of never communicating with those two drug addicts again. If they hadn't slandered me, resulting in threats and assaults against me, I never would have. Andrew Hill wrote, oh, that says my birthday. Nice. It says, Sean Schwartz, thanks for the quick response. I don't care about your side. My only concern was for Natalie's well being. No, it wasn't. I can do is admit it. Travis Dean, I know this guy. When I was homeless in Boulder, this guy got a lot from me. Blankets, coffee in the morning. I mean, I even gave this guy one of my squats. If you don't know nothing about being homeless, a squat is where you hide to go to sleep at night, if you're lucky. He says, hey, I think I know him. He used to be homeless in Boulder, Colorado, I think. I was. We got mutual friends, too, obviously. It says, Natalie, I just sent you a PM. This one says, Joshua Hutchins, this is scary as fuck. Now, here we're going to start getting into a lot of people who just don't know her. Joshua Hutchins wrote, Danny Marie, yes, I did give me the chills. Well, he gave himself the chills. That's all right. Ashley Monsalvo. What's his profile? I haven't seen the videos. See, of course, we got a bunch of people who are going to end up stalking me. You're going to love when you guys start seeing the threats against me by some of these goddamn nut jobs. Jeffrey Fernald. It says, Ashley Monsalvo, it's fine if you read all the original comments. You see people replying to him, but his page is now deleted, so his comments are gone, sadly. The only one who can see them now is the authorities. Now, I've been trying to get that. But I don't have a lawyer, and I don't have the money for a retainer. I don't even have the money to live on. So we're doing our best. As far as the comments that I had made and the comments that others had made, I wish that we could get those all back and show you everything that was typed here. There's a lot that's blocked because I had to block people who were, well, obviously up to no good. Jeffrey Fernald wrote, Ashley Monsalvo, nope, or not fine, it's gone. I wrote, wrong. Jeffrey wrote, Sean Schwartz. I wrote, he wrote, you're still a lonely fuck, huh? I wrote, Jeffrey Fernald, I'm a good man fighting for our rights. You cursing and berating doesn't change the facts. He wrote, Sean, this is 3 years past. You were right, it wasn't you. You didn't do it. They found the guy. Why continue with this BS? I wrote, Jeffrey Fernald, I continue to be abused over it. He wrote, if you stopped posting, it would go away. Stop doing this to yourself. I get you're sick, but please do something to help yourself stop digging a deeper hole. Now, here's the thing. If you stopped posting, it would go away. No, it doesn't go away. That's the thing that people don't get. It doesn't just go away. Okay? It doesn't just go away. The abuse doesn't just stop. When you slander somebody the way that I was slandered, you have to deal with a lot of abuse. And the only chance that you have to stop that abuse is to get an honest day in court where you are allowed your rights. But I was denied mine, partially because the police didn't do their jobs before Natalie was killed, and also because after Natalie was killed, they wanted to hide the fact that they didn't do their jobs before Natalie was killed, so they committed some felonies to try to frame me for crimes I didn't commit, including Natalie's death. Then, when they realized that I didn't kill Natalie, they committed even more felonies so that they wouldn't get in trouble for the felonies that they committed after she was killed, that they only committed because they committed misdemeanors before she was killed. It's fucking stupid. And then he calls me sick. You know what? Calling me sick, that's an insult. That is berating and name calling. It's not okay. But if you're going to call me names, I'm going to call you names. That's what's called equality. And equality, well, that's what I'm fighting for. I wrote, Jeffrey Fernald, you are spouting ignorance. Being silent about the abuse does not stop it. If a rapist is not told on, he continues to rape. Be it one victim or many, the only ways to bring him down are to tell on him or kill him. I don't have any interest in killing anyone, so I speak out. Jeffrey wrote, but if you want happiness, staying on your current path will not come. What current path do I have? Fighting with nothing of my own, trying to fight to have a safe environment where I won't be abused. But no matter what, until I'm allowed to show the truth, I will have to deal with it. Until the police do something about my predators instead of hiding their crimes. Predators like registered sex offender Robert Warnick. And I will also be showing you the Nebraska Sex Offender Registry and showing you Robert Warnick so that you are aware that I am telling the truth about that as well. I wrote, Jeffrey, you have no idea what I'm going through, and this current path crap sidesteps the reality of the situation. I speak out because I am abused, not the other way around. The people who assault me and chase me down in real life are doing so because of the slander by the Bollinger, which I have been illegally prevented from defending myself against for 5 years. You think Robert Warnick threatened to kill me because I spoke out? No. He threatened my life because it is popular to do so because of the slander. You're the sick one for calling me sick. It isn't sick to speak out. It is right to do so. This is Seth Franco. Seth Franco is dead. That's a good thing. He wrote, this dude is such a loser and a bum. Well, now the guy's dead. There's karma for you. Natalie Marie wrote, update. He was served with a restraining order this afternoon. On Friday, he and I have court. He will be charged with stalking and harassment. He's looking at 8+ years in jail. I feel safe. Thank y'all for the support. First of all, I wasn't looking at 8+ years in jail. Second of all, I was the one being stalked. I was the one being harassed. I was the one being assaulted. Now, I didn't know that we had court on Friday, by the way. When I was served the paperwork, I was supposed to be getting an attorney to help me with this. And that was supposed to be through Jeff Ritter and the Colorado Coalition of the Homeless. Jeff wasn't able to do anything, and he told me he wouldn't be able to do anything until after the first of the year. I mean, this is literally end of the year. Now, it turned out that I was supposed to have court on the 22nd. Now, mind you, we're going to see the messages between her and I during this period. She completely misled the situation. She's also trying to amp up her ex, Tim Beeson, to try to get him to do something. They've got guns. They're up to no good, and they're wanting to harm somebody because he told the truth. If we scroll all the way up to the top again, which you guys who paid attention at the beginning, obviously there's no need to do that. At the very top, she claims that I slandered her. That's what all of this is about. She wanted people to not listen to what I was saying. She called me mentally ill and pretended like she was a victim so that people wouldn't listen to me and so that they would come after me. And they did come after me. And she didn't care. You also get to see with a lot of the stuff on the side here how it was a popularity contest. Joshua Hutchins typed, "Keep updated with the court shit. I know too well how they can dismiss or reduce it, or convict and suspend all active time. I hope he serves some time behind this, but in my experience, it's unlikely." No, it's extremely likely. I spent a lot of time locked up over this because I defended myself when I was being assaulted, because I spoke out about the abuse that magically makes it okay to abuse me more. But the thing is, even if I had shut up, I still have to endure the abuse. The financial abuse, it's affected my finances for the rest of my life. The abuse when I go to see my loved ones in the only place that I ever actually considered home, that is abuse. Slandering someone's name to the point that they are being physically assaulted is incredibly wrong. But Natalie had no conscience about this. She didn't care. She went out of her way to type all sorts of misleading shit that is outright lies just because she thought she could get away with it because she was pretty. And if you notice, and you're going to notice this here real soon, a lot of people want to talk about how pretty she is. Every one of these people are superficial. Every single one of them. Obviously, they don't care about the truth. They care about who is pretty. Ari Gonzalez typed fuck. J Melt typed dang. Kelsey Weber typed what the fuck. They should have been like the day before she went missing. No, it wasn't. She went missing on December 28th. I know because I got a call. This situation happened on the 13th over a situation on the 12th. Let's see. Juliana Torres wrote, "It wasn't fast enough. That psycho got to get before then. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, baby girl. I can't believe you suffered because your heart was big and wanted to help others." No, she suffered because she destroyed an innocent man's life. She suffered because of her emotional turmoil over the horrible things that she had done. She suffered because she was a disgusting addict. Let's see. Your heart was big and wanted to help others. You know, it wasn't her helping me that was the problem. It was her slandering my name that was the problem. So you want to magically forget all of the horrible things that she did, or the horrible things that people like this and this mentality did to me because they assumed. That's why we have courts. But then again, the courts don't work. She also typed, "I pray this POS gets what he deserved. Rest easy, angel." She was no angel. She was a fucking drug addict who didn't care whose life she destroyed. Calling me a POS. Juliana Torres, you're a POS. Let's see. Bex Marie. It says she went missing the day before her court date. Highly suspicious. No, she didn't disappear the day before her court date. Now, mind you, I was too broke to go to that court date. Even if I'd have known that I had a court date in Colorado, I was pissed off because I'd been trying to get a protection order against these people for almost a year by this point. I was trying to get protection orders against them, but I got the "you just need to man up," or "this is your fault because you're the male." And it's not okay. Now, when did I get my disability paycheck? Court was on the 22nd. I got my disability paycheck on the 23rd. Also, they have to, if you're not able to go to court, you have to let them know 7 days in advance. They have to know 7 days in advance of your court date if you can't go so they can reschedule it. Well, they gave me that paperwork 6 days before my court date. There is no way that I could have done that. I was illegally prevented from having any of my legal rights observed. If somebody has to have 7 days if they are not able to go to the court, you need to give them at least 8 or 9 days, and that's if they're able to send it very next day. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't know what the fuck to do. what I knew is that I didn't have any technical skills. Most of the stuff that I'm able to do now, I didn't know how to do until after Natalie was killed. It says, uh, my heart is breaking for her and her family. I can't even imagine what they're going through. Shit, half of them were fucking ecstatic. With Natalie dead, well, Troy Bollinger gets away with the things that he did to Natalie. With her dead, Tim Beeson gets away with the things he did to Natalie. With her dead, her dad gets away with this. It's horrible. I wrote Kelsey Weber. Nope. 2 weeks before she went missing. Michael Raposo typed, he's from Boulder, right? And Natalie Marie wrote, yes. I wrote, nope, I just knew her from Boulder. She sold drugs for her dad. That's how we met. Michael Raposo typed Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith wrote, dude has a Freddy Krueger thing going on. Straight basement dweller status. Ha ha ha. See, there they go making fun of my looks. It has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with popularity and looks. I'm not a pretty white girl, so it's okay to do these things to me. It's okay to get people like Tyler Smith all up in arms. It's okay to do these things if you are a pretty white girl in America. He also typed, sorry you're going through this. That's a freaky situation to be going through. And it wouldn't have been a situation that either of us were going through if she had told the truth. And the purpose of this series is to show you the truth. Here's Michael Barrows. This is another one of those sick fucks who, well, obviously, to most of these guys, she was just a vagina. Here's Jason Girl. Hey, Jason Greer. Hey, girl, this is Jason. Give me a call. I hate weirdos. See, there you go with the name calling again. Who mess with women. I wasn't messing with her. Her and her friends were messing with me. It also says, and have made a career out of taking care of them. Really, Jason Greer has made a career of taking care of them. So what does that mean? That right there is obviously a threat. It's now most of the threats that I have are straight up threats. This guy right here, it's called God, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Anyway, it fits under the category of menacing. He typed, hate to hear you're having to deal with this. If you want my help, you just ask, you got it, take care and good luck. Or food luck. Now here's the thing. This is, people are offering to harm me for Natalie. They had been doing this, by the time this guy wrote this, I had been dealing with people doing these things to me for over a year. These things that she wanted to pretend were not happening. These things were happening because she lied and said that I stalked her. And here it is, over a year after I leave Virginia, she's still got people offering to do this shit for me, which is the whole reason I was speaking up. When you have a dude who leaves your life, leave him the fuck alone. Don't go spreading rumors. Don't try to destroy his fucking life. Leave him the fuck alone. Here's Jay Melt. He typed some stuff too. I wrote, she didn't need help. She was destroying an innocent life just fine, and she had plenty of help doing it. Marcellus Lee wrote, WTF. Oh, theology. Worked at Old Dominion University. Nice guy. It says, keep me posted. You know I'm connected. And what does that mean, folks? Let's see. It says Natalie Marie loved that comment. So she was eating this attention up. She was loving the fuck out of it. She was getting all the attention that she could ever want. Oh my God. You know I'm connected. Well, how are we supposed to take that? Brittany Woodworth wrote, I pray to God this piece of shit has nothing to do with your disappearance. Praying. See, piece of shit. POS over and over and over again. these people continually came after me and thought that it was okay. And the police pretended that these things weren't happening, that people weren't doing things like this, that they weren't typing things like this and getting people all worked up. And as a result, they pretended like none of this happened. Now, obviously, you guys are looking at it right now at this very moment, so you know that it's the truth. Here's Jody Miles. This woman, you are going to love the stuff from her. This woman is nuttier than fucking squirrel turd. She's the one who pretended like me and Natalie dated. Says this guy needs to be found. I didn't need to be found. Shit, I went straight up to the cops repeatedly. I called the cops repeatedly. Now let's see. By the way, Jody Miles, she was pretending that she was an autism advocate. She was working with one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers to fuck with my head. There's specific names for it. They are felonies, and they are probably going to go to prison for a very long time if I can actually get a court date. See, it's not just the crimes that they committed, it's the crimes that they committed since to try to hide their crimes. Robbie Lee Raskins wrote, What was his real Facebook, his real name? I can't find it. Michelle Brannick Facebook anywhere. Lovely. It says, I figured that out now. Thank you. Have you gone to that profile? Pay real close attention to the details in his pictures. He is truly obsessed with her. See, saying that I was obsessed with somebody, no, I wasn't obsessed with Natalie. I was obsessed with stopping the abuse. I was obsessed with being able to go see my loved ones without being threatened, harassed, and assaulted over shit that didn't happen. I was obsessed with not being abused by a bunch of goddamn junkies and people like Tim motherfucking Beeston. It says it's creepy. Pictures of his bows, a drawing of the fallen heroine, and plenty more. I have gotten through all of them yet. All right, my bows. It's not illegal to have a bow. I used them for hunting rabbits to get me dinner for years here in Nebraska. It also says a drawing of the fallen heroine. You know what? Natalie was on heroin. The other thing is the drawing that I drew of Natalie, you're going to get to see. I drew that for her mother, and Natalie requested it. That's not creepy. A commission, an art commission, it is not creepy to fulfill that. If somebody pays you to come scrub their bathroom and clean their bathroom, is it creepy if you show up and clean their bathroom? No, it's not. I'm going to show you the pictures of her and I as well, and her sister. Robbie Lee Raskins typed, I haven't seen any videos yet. Kelly George wrote, what is the name on the Facebook profile? So here the news spreading the rumors that they did, and the cops not caring about the truth. So then I get a whole bunch of wingnuts like this. This woman doesn't know Natalie. But we've got all these people who are on there that are now, instead of just having a couple of dozen stalkers, I'm now having to deal with thousands of stalkers and people offering to do, well, who knows what. And somehow magically it's fine by calling me mentally ill and loosely associating it with schizophrenia. When you call somebody mentally ill, you are automatically saying that they're not a human being worth listening to. And the courts are exactly the same way. The thing is, I'm autistic, not retarded. I have Tourette's syndrome, not schizophrenia. Now, I've got a couple of recordings with my therapists, and those recordings show that I'm telling the truth about that as well. It says, I haven't seen any videos yet. What's the name on the FB profile? I gave him the name. I wrote Sean Schwartz. Oh, he wrote Sean Schwartz. Sorry. Brandon Weiss, I'd shoot his ass and put an end to it. That's a serious problem and obsession. Is the dude from Colorado, I'm guessing? Probably a tweaker with nothing better to do with his time but waste yours. And see, this is what they do to try to discredit you and try to justify the horrible shit that they do. They call you obsessed. They call you a fucking junkie. And here's the thing. In all of this, you won't find any drugs in my system unless they were injected in me for trying to tell on my predators. As far as calling me a tweaker, Natalie was a tweaker. Her sister's a tweaker. Her sister and her dad have both been busted multiple times since Natalie's death with a lot of methamphetamines. When they went on that high speed chase on my birthday in 2019, they got busted with 19 grams of methamphetamines, and Alicia walked away scot free. Lovely. Brittany Woodworth wrote, "This guy is obviously fucking mental." See, there you go with being condescending assholes and name calling. It says the police are looking for him because he missed their court date, which was this morning. He made this FB page after she disappeared. No. See, this person is obviously a fucking moron. It says the police are looking for him because he missed their court date. No, they weren't looking at me for missing a fucking court date. I went to every goddamn court date that I had until I was illegally prevented from going to my court dates, and my public pretenders wouldn't do shit. I was illegally prevented from contacting the people that I needed to, and that's the thing that you guys don't want to hear about. You guys don't care how inmates are treated, how they are assumed to be guilty, and how they are abused like a motherfucker by the guards, but it's fine. He also said he made this page after she disappeared. Well, this is my Facebook profile. You see that? It says, oh, I guess you can't. We'll turn it a little bit. That was my profile at the time that Natalie died. I want you to see that. My background was the Constitution of the United States of America and purple and teal ribbon for sexual violence and domestic violence. That's right, I've been fighting this battle for a long fucking time. Fighting for our rights. Ours. This is my profile. I'd had it for years, since I believe 2012. Let's see. And there's a bunch of comments on here. I could definitely go through those too. Let's see. Now let's hope that I don't have to go all the way. All right, good. And then Savannah Manis Fletcher, type psychotic. So I was made a target and was never allowed to defend myself against these false accusations. They used the term mentally ill and pretended like I was a druggie in order to do this. I literally needed someone to go in with me, but I had to deal with idiots and drug dealers, and they're not going to help anyone. They're idiots and drug dealers. Jay Melt wrote, he has been eliminated as a suspect, and he's right. It says Ashley McCohen wrote, what? How was he eliminated? Do you have a link? Bex Marie wrote, that's what he says. I just read an article that states he hasn't been dubbed or cleared as a suspect. Brittany Woodworth wrote, can you share the article here, please? And I wrote, wow, you were wrong a lot, Brittany. All right, it's looking like it's not. I don't know. I'm getting a blurry screen now on my phone, which is what I'm using to check it. Hopefully, cover it up and uncover it. Maybe that'll work. Nope. This is getting to be a pretty long one already. So I'll read a few more. It's well enough that you can read it, just barely, but good enough. Brandon Weiss wrote, wait, Natalie is missing? Brittany Woodsworth wrote, yes, she was reporting yesterday. Phone left in her apartment. Brandon Weiss made 3 faces. Brandon Weiss wrote, that is scary. If he is from Colorado, he most likely a tweaker, sad to say, but living how there, I learned how peeps are real quick. So basically, this guy's stuffing me into a pigeonhole. And that's the thing, is that none of this is based on any actual evidence. It's not based on any actual facts. It's based on people just assuming, well, he lives in Colorado, he must be a tweaker. If he's from Colorado, he must be a tweaker. That's fucking retarded. And you're going to get to see how many people called me retarded too. It's lovely. Um, but see, here's the thing. But living there, I learned how peeps are real quick. Which peeps? We're all different, motherfucker. You lived in Colorado, Brandon Weiss? You must be a tweaker, sad to say. And then he writes, my true prayers are out for you, Natalie. I'm sorry this happened. See what a douchebag this guy is? And then he wants to pretend in God. This guy hasn't even read the Bible. Alyssa Nicole wrote, Brittany Woodworth, I knew I had seen this somewhere in the very beginning when she first went missing. People are saying it's never been confirmed, though. Can I ask how you know her phone was left in her apartment? Obviously, the lady never, ever replied to it. Why? Because it was bullshit. I wrote Brandon Weiss, nope, not a tweaker, not a meth addict, not a drinker. Also, 3 things Natalie actually was. See, the things that Natalie was claiming was slander was true. And we're going to go through a lot of the stuff from the autopsy report and things like that in this series as well. So you're going to get to see that she was on meth when she died. She had a lethal dose of heroin in her system when she was killed. Also, Natalie was a pretty heavy drinker. Robbie Lee Roskerins wrote, and if your creepy fucking ass is stalking her page and reading these comments, see, it's all right for people to do that shit on my page, and it's magically not stalking when they do it. Like when Natalie did it, it's magically not stalking. It's magically not stalking when Tim Beeson is getting a hold of me to threaten, harass, and threaten to kill my family. It's apparently not stalking when people are coming out of the woodwork to assault me because Natalie fucking lied. Robbie Lee Raskins, you're the creepy fucking ass. It says, and if your creepy fucking ass is still stalking her page and reading these comments, well, this post is all about me. So it's my right to read it and to respond and to defend myself. It's not about any of these motherfuckers, now is it? It says, and you have anything at all, even in the slightest bit, anything to do with why she's disappeared, I swear on my own life, when I get to Colorado and find you, they won't need a missing. You see, this is the shit that I have to deal with. I'm disabled. I can't fucking defend myself. I'm not allowed to defend myself in real life. I'm not allowed to defend myself in court because of the same slander that Natalie Bollinger was posting, because of the same bullshit that everybody knows they can say these things as an excuse and get away with it. It says, consider yourself forewarned. Robbie Lee Raskins, consider yourself forewarned, you punk ass bitch. You threatened me. You damn right you're going to be named in my suit, you piece of shit. Let's see. It says, when I get to Colorado, they won't need a missing persons report for you. Now, see, I'd been dealing with this shit for an entire year before Natalie was killed. An entire year. Most of it in real life. Not typed on the internet, but in real life. Now it also says, consider yourself forewarned. Your best bet is to come forward with any and everything you know. Otherwise, you're number 1 on the list and I will find you. Lovely. Now, if I say anything like that, then I go to jail. I get treated like I am some sort of a terrible monster for threatening these people. Not threatening them, but threatening them back. Robbie Lee Roskerins, you're a bitch. Also, I had gone forward with everything that I knew. I had already spoken with the police several times. I had to force the police to come and see me. How fucked up is that? Of course, popularity contest. Brandon Weiss, right? I can't even believe this. Her and I aren't close, but for shit you see on TV is happening, shit's wicked. Robbie Lee Russ Ekrins wrote, I haven't been able to get a hold of her sis either. That creepy fuck knows something. Go look at the new profile he created, yo. It's not a new profile, it's my profile, you fucking moron. Ray Colwell. It says, I'm in Rhode Island, but like I stated earlier, I'm down for a witch hunt for this sick fuck. Now, you guys wanted to pretend like this shit doesn't happen, or like it's magically okay because Natalie was pretty, or because of my age, or because of my looks. Robbie Lee Raskins wrote, They found her. Ashley Brown wrote, They found her. See, a lot of people wanted to get involved in this that didn't know Natalie, didn't know me, didn't know shit about the situation, wanted to tell me that I can't post here, even though the post is all about me. Meanwhile, I got a lot more reason to post here than they do. I have every right to do so. Natasha Nazarene Shields wrote, uh, Robbie Rosecrans Jr., is she okay? Kelly Smith made a couple eyeballs. Raven Robertson made a face. April Lee Howell made a face. Robbie Lee Raskrins wrote, I really don't know what to say right now. I don't think I should have said anything in the first place. Please be patient and respectful with her family and everyone. Thank you. Someone named Kristen Bates Bolin put a period there. Robbie Lee Raskins wrote, It's not good news, but again, please respect everyone's space right now and give family time to come around. I'm not the one to say anything right now. I'm very, very sorry. Please be patient. Brandy Brooks wrote, Robbie Rosecrans Jr., it's not good news. Can you message me? Christina Cotalesso put a couple of question marks. Robbie wrote, I received a call at 5:34 a.m. this morning, their time. Alicia called me while she was leaving the police station. They had found Natalie. She had been murdered. Alicia is extremely hysterical about it. That's right. She was hysterical enough that instead of going looking for her sister, she went to Boulder, Colorado to the band shell off of Broadway and Canyon and was yelling and screaming at homeless people and trying to find me. She wasn't interested in finding her sister. And mind you, this is before they knew that Natalie was dead. They weren't trying to find her. You'll notice that her mother wasn't trying to find her. Alicia wasn't trying to find her. They were interested in blaming me. They probably had something to do with her death. The reason that I say that is because they weren't looking for her. I'm also going to show you a lot of messages between myself and people who I thought were my friends, people who just wanted something to argue on these Facebook groups, but they didn't want to come forward in court. Now let's see. What else does it say? It says she has been murdered. Alicia is extremely hysterical about it all, so please, everyone, be as respectful as possible to her and her family. But obviously not to Sean Schwartz. That would not be okay. He's ugly. He's a male. Obviously, it's okay to victimize him. He's homeless. He must be a tweaker. He lives in Colorado. He must be a tweaker. Holy fuck. It says they will reach out to you in due time. The last thing they need right now is a million calls or texts or messages having to repeat the same thing over and over again. Now, see, this guy has obviously got some brains to him. What he said there makes perfect fucking sense. It also makes perfect sense in my situation. But instead, I had a bunch of people who just wanted to get the local gossip. They wanted to get the news first. They promised to help me, but in reality, I had to start over again because every time one of these people wanted to try helping me, and I would explain to them what's going on. I would see their stuff. Somebody would send me a message saying, hey, these people are saying this, and these people are saying that, and this is what they're posting in this group, and this is what they're posting in that group. And I'm like, hey, these guys were saying that they were going to help me. So then I'm done with that motherfucker. I've moved on to somebody else who might help me. And most of those people ended up being what's called catfish. See, unlike when I made those two profiles, where I actually let Natalie and Alicia and Maddie know who it was exactly who was messaging them and why. These people who are catfish, they make fake profiles. They're not going to tell you who they really are. And even though the cops have the technology and the FBI has the technology to track these people down and see to it that they are obviously, you know, convicted of the crimes that they've committed, well, they're not going to do that. The FBI committed felonies in this situation. So, really, how easy is it going to be to get them to do something? It says, let's see, it is heartbreaking enough to have to say it once, let alone repeat it. And exactly. And I've had to repeat it for years because I am still being abused. The abuse that I had to deal with back when Natalie disappeared because I was never allowed to defend myself against it. It has lifelong consequences. It has destroyed my credit. I didn't have the money to even feed myself because I was busy going to court date after court date after court date for crimes that were never fucking committed. So I couldn't turn in those officers because of that. The other thing is, I'm sure you guys got to listen to the YouTube video that I posted up a few ago where I'm talking to the Nebraska Attorney General's office. You might want to listen to that one because it explains to you why it is that the police continued to charge me with crimes that never happened. They knew that they had committed felonies by this point, and as long as they keep hemming me up on false charges, I'm not allowed to turn them in. But it's all right, isn't it? Now, I suppose once I'm done reading this part, I'm going to have to start a new video. Let's see. And everyone, I'm begging you to say nothing but kind words and loving thoughts, if anything else at all. But then again, I didn't get that. People wanted the Bollingers, who were Natalie's actually predators, to get that special treatment. But it was fine for me to be continually victimized by these people, by these literal people that he's asking for people to be nice to. These people who raped Natalie, these people who chose abusive men over Natalie, these people who chose drugs over Natalie, these people who chose alcohol over Natalie, these people who beat Natalie. It says, um, let's see, it's heartbreaking enough to have to say it once, let alone repeat it. So please, please, everyone, I'm begging you to say nothing but kind words and loving thoughts, if anything else at all. Just give them time to reach out to everyone. Thank you, and I and everyone else are all very, very heartbroken to hear of this. With so much love to you, Natalie Marie, may you know we love you dearly and you're in all of our hearts and prayers. And to Alicia, Michelle, and her family and all their wonderful friends, we love you very, very much. We all here for you, and you are in our hearts and prayers as well. If you need anything at all, we are right here for you. Again, I love you. We love you. J Melt put a UFC thing down. A lot of guys did this. Oh, I'm a big tough motherfucker. I'm going to beat the shit out of that Chimo. I'm going to beat the fuck out of that rapist. I'm going to beat the fuck out of that murderer. You're also going to get to see many of the YouTube channels that were created. You're going to get to see that there are Facebook group after Facebook group that were supposedly Natalie Bollinger justice groups, but they were really Sean Schwartz bashing groups where people were as horrible of this as this and even worse. Now, this Robbie Lee Raskins, guys, turns out to be all right, and we're going to actually read through that before ending this video because I want you guys to know. Cynthia Bicknell wrote, so very sorry to hear this. Robbie Lee Raskins wrote, this guy don't know me very well. Robbie Lee Raskins wrote, and thank everyone for the kind words, love all. Martin Cochran wrote, Robbie Roskerins Jr., so sorry to you and your family, MLHNR. I wrote, Ray Caldwell, good luck with the witch hunt. Natalie got a lot of people killed. I wouldn't be surprised to find out you killed some of them. Robbie Lee Raskin's got a hold of me and wrote, Sean Schwartz, I just wanted to let you know that I apologize for any and all negative things said towards you from me. Now, see, this is why I'm continuing this video until everything said between him and I is done. This guy did the right thing. It said, I just wanted to let you know that I apologize for any and all negative things said towards you from me. I was upset, and from everything I had been told, things weren't looking in your favor. So again, I do apologize. I wrote, Robbie Lee Roskerens, thank you. I am not allowed to get angry or I am punished. But I give credit where it's due. I forgive Natalie for slandering my name, but now I'm fighting to end the abuse I endure over that slander. There is a lot of hate towards me here. I'm collecting evidence of it today because much of my evidence was stolen or destroyed, primarily by police officers, just so y'all know. I also wrote Robbie Lee Raskrins. You were only one of literally hundreds of people who threatened me. It wasn't the threats on the internet I had to worry about. It was the abuse in real life. I am certain you are not one of the people who harmed me in real life. Robbie Lee Raskinrins wrote, no, I don't think I've ever met you, man. Just wanted to apologize for my part, trying to make amends when I can. And of course, I like that comment. Matter of fact, I'm going to change that to love, because I really do love that comment. Now we're going to get into a whole bunch of the slander and stuff. I suppose I should go to the live stream and see if anyone wrote anything. Small town babe, put a broken heart. I'm so sorry, broken heart, and I agree with you. Thank you, Michaela. If you're still watching this, if not, I'm sorry that it went for so long. I'm going to end the stream now, and then I might try to take a short nap. If not, I'm going to get to showing you that the things that I said were true, which I've already started doing, but I've also got to show that that was slander by Natalie Bollinger. I've got to show the evidence in her case, and that's what I intend on doing. I'm also going to show you the evidence of what law enforcement has done. I am still in the process of trying to get my medical records, but it'll happen. Y'all be safe. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Look out for each other. If you see a nerd being bullied or picked on, fucking stick up for him or her. If you know one of those women who gets all of her friends up in a twist so that they go do evil things to a disabled person for her because she was embarrassed, stick up for the man, please. Please. He doesn't deserve it.